Welcome back, everyone. Diane here, back with Leena, my favorite coworker. We're both writers for School of Love, and this is part 2 of our teacher tips for School of Love parents. Last video, we talked about 6 tips that can be helpful in teaching your child in the home. To view that video, please click on the link below.
So, how do these teacher tips relate to School of Love in our families and in our homes? Well, actually, the vision of School of Love is to help create true parent-child relationships and really foster that, right? So in order to do that and create these meaningful connections, have these kinds of moments together that we long for, some of these really basic elements, these teacher tips, can help support that. Because the foundation is important, right? So the environment we create, the way we talk with our kids on a day-to-day basis, the more we can develop that and have it clear expectations and, have positive interactions between parents and kids, then our day can just go more smoothly and we can spend more time having those special bonding moments versus being bogged down by the little things and the stresses or feeling awkward or uncomfortable. So we really want to help nurture that relationship, that it's deep, so you can naturally have these conversations.
Absolutely. And also when we want to have a School of Love conversation with our child about awkward topics such as crushes, dating, pornography, purity, etc., we want to have a strong bond with our kids so that they know they can always come to us for anything. Yeah. We want to create an environment of openness, unconditional love, vulnerability, no judgment. And we want to start from a young age if possible because it all sticks with them and their experiences all build upon each other. Mm-hmm. And I just want to mention a quote that I've always loved that I think is so beautiful by Catherine M. Wallace, an author and poet. And she says, "Listen earnestly to anything your children want to tell you, no matter what. If you don't listen eagerly to the little stuff when they are little, they won't tell you the big stuff when they are big, because to them, all of it has always been big stuff." And that's just so meaningful to me, and I really believe that.
Wow, I got chills. It's so good. It's so true. All the little things adding up to the big thing, and also that what we might think is so small is actually so meaningful to them.
Yeah, sometimes they come to you with their whole heart, for something very simple, but to them it means the world actually. And children have big emotions, and it just makes a big impact. Some things we might think are just simple.
So the teacher tip that I'm going to share about now, I'm kind of focusing on that I shared about last time, was creating positive learning environments. And I'm just going to expand on it a little bit more. So when we want to have, these conversations with our kids, do you have a crush? Or they hear about, strange things like, "Mom, I heard about a boner. What is that?" Or these awkward conversations. There's things that we can do in our environment to make it more natural. And one I've heard a lot about, and this might apply also with older, teenage kids, is talking in a car. Because you're both looking forward. You're not looking directly at each other. It's just very casual, a little less confrontational.
Yes.
and intimidating. So it's a good place to start on a car ride with your kid. Another one is just creating a comfy, cozy environment. Maybe going on the couch, having your favorite blanket. Maybe you make lemonade together beforehand and have that moment of doing something hands-on beforehand together that's not all deep and meaningful, but something simple, and then you sit down for that talk. Also being aware of leading by example, not being all over our phones the whole time.
For sure.
Yeah, and with little ones, the eye level is really important. So getting down to their eye level, maybe it's kneeling, and it just helps it to feel less authoritative, we know everything, we're above them, but more we're here for you, we're talking at your level, why are you sad, or what made you uncomfortable, and just really making them an equal, right? So, and then the last thing with environments was creating natural conversations, trying to have it be a part of just your normal day, not having to make it this big deal, let's sit down and have a talk on sex. trying to create it in a more natural way. Maybe they're gonna have a first sleepover and you wanna share with them beforehand, like, oh, I had so many fun sleepovers when I was a kid, and here's some tips if you see something that makes you uncomfortable, or hear something you're uncomfortable about, like what to do, right? And then there's the other route where maybe you do want to create routine, and maybe you say, hey, as a family, let's commit every Sunday night and sit down and do School of Love lesson together. So I think it's good to have a balance, like have it be a natural part of your day, but also it might help you to make it more natural if you first start out with like a weekly, let's do even just a small chunk of a lesson together once a week. And creating those routines. How about you, Diane?
So this definitely applies to School of Love, the sense of humor topic, because in School of Love, we're talking about awkward topics. That's basically what it is. And so I personally have found that it's easiest to just acknowledge that it's awkward and just go with it. Some things in life are awkward, and you're going through this with your children. And so especially with younger children, keep a sense of humor, make funny faces, make jokes, don't take yourself too seriously. And if something is awkward, you can just say it. Wow, this is really uncomfortable, isn't it? Oh, this is making me feel a little funny inside. But anyway, let's talk about this and let's get through this together. So how are you feeling? And, laugh and watch them and just try to put them at ease a little bit. And also, in regards to natural learning, again, if they bring up a topic or an example of something about the lesson, then try to go with it if you could. Like, listen to how they're feeling, what they're thinking, and try to connect it back to the lesson. So try to put on your creativity hat, right? And as much as possible, let them carry on with what is holding their interest and their curiosity, as long as it's appropriate and in line with what you choose to share with them according to their age. Because I know there's a lot of different topics and every family is different. So as long as it's in the scope of what you want to talk to them about, then go with it. Also, lastly, don't be too hard on yourself. As we've said, don't expect too much of yourself or your child. And if you're like me, you may feel a lot of pressure and responsibility. Every day I feel a lot of pressure, and I feel like so many things are riding on me, and I'm responsible for growing these good kids, and it can be a lot. To me, these topics are even more important than math or science. This comes before that. This is the foundation, helping them to be good people, to be safe, to live good lives, be able to learn how to make the right choices. And when you're doing the lessons, it's totally fine to stop and pick up on another day. So you can come back when your child is ready and when the emotions are more stable, either yourself or your child. And don't be afraid to change things up and try new things that maybe something didn't work before, but you can always try it again when you come back to it on a later time. Maybe they'll be more receptive at that time, because children are very emotional and they change a lot. So don't give up the first time.
Yeah, I love that. And we put a lot of thought into these lessons that we write, and they're not the easiest topics to write on, like some of the lessons include good touch, bad touch, even in relation to other people or peers or teachers. We've looked at, pornography for kids, like what do they do if they come across that? Of course, talking a lot about like purity, and a lot of topics that aren't the easiest, but like Diane said, we don't want parents to feel pressure like, oh, I have this long lesson, let's sit down and do the whole thing, which sometimes works. We've done that in our home, but yeah, I just love that you emphasize, like, it's okay to maybe just do the craft that day. Maybe that's what your child is really into, and connect it back to the point of the lesson. Actually, I think that is the most natural way to learn, if it's like a little bit here and there and in different aspects of their lives, kind of leading to the same point very naturally. And so we hope that, these tips, these teacher tips could help you in your general life, but also in applying School of Love lessons or videos, content in your home with your kids. We hope it gave you a little nudge of encouragement. If you've been meaning to try them out, or just haven't done one in a while, Okay, so to recap, some tips we shared for a school of love in your home is possibly talking to your kids in the car, creating a comfy, cozy environment, getting down to their eye level, especially if they're little, having natural conversations just here and there throughout your day, and maybe creating routines as well to help you get there to those natural conversations. Allowing yourself to have fun with it, have a sense of humor, especially with the awkward moments, recognizing which topics interest your kids most and going with their curiosity, really letting them lead. And lastly, giving yourself that freedom to go at your own pace, your child's pace, and really make it your own, what it is that your family needs.
Amidst all of the uncertainty around us, I try to focus on the fact that we do now have those extra opportunities to share with each other, to grow together, and to make memories together.
I love that. That positive spin again. Yeah, well, thanks everyone for watching. Thank you, Diane. We had
Thank
such
you,
a great
Leena.
time. You're welcome. We had a nice time chit-chatting, and we hope it benefited you in your day. Good luck. You've got this. We believe in you. Don't forget to check out all of our awesome content, videos, lessons on schooloflove.org. You can also like, follow, share our YouTube channel as well as our Facebook page, and share it with a friend, someone who may need it. Thanks. We'll see y'all later.
See you again.
Bye.
Had a great time. Bye.